to how the markets are faring. After a slight recovery yesterday, the US stocks indices are in the red once again. The S&P is down by 3.46%. Dow Jones has plummeted 2.50% and the Nasdaq composite has tanked by 4.131%. Meanwhile, US dollar has weakened 2.28% against the Japanese yen and 2.19% against the euro. This move follows the announcement of a 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariffs for the countries that did not retaliate against Trump's move. It also follows tariffs being hiked on Chinese imports to America to a staggering 1.25%. Pia Man, my colleague, is joining me live on the broadcast once again. Now, Pia, in the light of a big question looming large, is the US likely to head for recession? Now, we are seeing the global markets reacting to rather in a surprising manner where the US dollar weakens against euro and yen. And in fact, there are the global indices from Japan and other nations being seen in the red once again. Share more details as to what you're picking up for our viewers to understand this better in context.
Aptly put it. We can even see the numbers flashing on our screens at the moment. The markets have once again crashed. Yesterday itself, if I can remind our viewers, back when the markets had in fact opened in the United States of America, we had seen for a fact that the stock indices had gone in the green. This had come after Trump had announced the 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs. But remember, the relief was only limited to those countries that did not retaliate against his move in the first place. So that included India. However, we all know there was an outlier, and that is China. China, of course, retaliated. They had imposed an 84% tariffs against Donald Trump. Trump retaliated with 125%, which takes the cumulative tariff of the US against China to 145%. But even so, even then, yesterday itself, when we speak about Dow Jones, it had risen to 40,000 by 7.87%. And now the stock indices is in red again. Dow Jones has gone down once again. Meanwhile, S&P 500 is down 3.46%. Dow Jones is down 2.50%. Speaking of the S&P, it had risen significantly yesterday by 9.52%. Meanwhile, Nasdaq, we all know Nasdaq is dominated by tech firms, including the large tech firms such as Amazon, such as Google, such as Microsoft. So the Nasdaq composite had risen by 12.16% yesterday itself by around 1,857 points, but it's back down once again by 4.31% to 16,387 points. Speaking of European markets, they also recovered slightly yesterday. Asian markets are also recovered slightly yesterday, but of course, all eyes on whether we will continue to seeing this tank. And Simran, what's interesting is there are several questions that are looming around right now. One, of course, you put it rightly, will there be a global recession? But apart from that, a lot of people are questioning whether the tariffs are a temporary negotiating tactic or whether they are here to stay. How long will the markets continue tanking? We've seen a fluctuation take place yesterday. Will there be a global supply chain destruction? And are all consumer goods going to become more expensive? Because Trump has been talking about, in fact, shifting production to the United States of America. We all know about the iPhones, the fact that they're manufactured in China and in India. So, of course, there is a large question looming at this point as to if manufacturing is shifted back to America, will things become more expensive after this or not? So back to you, Simran. I think we are, we have a paucity of time as far as this bulletin is concerned. Back to you.
All right, Pia. Thank you very much for sharing more details and also adding, in fact, information. Now, we are on that note with more